All right, so now we're gonna set up our campaign, or the can of our campaign, the structure of our campaign, and we'll go through and then deal with the ad set and the ad. So what I'm gonna do is over here in my ad account, you're gonna, you could click over here in your menu and you can find your ad account, wherever it's at, ads manager is what you're looking for. And that'll bring you over to your ads manager. And what we're gonna do is you're gonna click on create. And this is over in the campaigns tab. You wanna be in your campaigns tab. Campaigns nest your ad sets, which nest your ads. So your ads are inside of your ad sets, and your ad sets are inside of your campaigns. And the campaign is really where you're going to deal with your objective, or what it is that you want to do. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on all of the objectives right now. We're just going to focus on a conversion objective, and that's always, almost always, probably 90% of the time, 99% of the time, I'll just stick with a conversion campaign. Sometimes I'll add in a video campaign or a traffic campaign or even a PPC campaign. But for the most part, we're almost always starting with a conversion campaign. And that's why it's so important, as I told you in one of the earlier videos, that you have to have a pixel set up, because the pixel is what tracks your conversions. Okay, so we're going to assume that you have that set up, and you're going to come over here to the campaign tab. You're going to click on create. And what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and we're going to choose this sales option. Ignore these notifications up here. If you have notifications up here, you're going to want to set them up or go through them. This ad account is brand new. I haven't done anything with it yet. So, just ignore those, or make sure you go through and set everything up that it's asking you to, because you may have problems if you don't. Okay. But assume that we did. We're going to go down here to sales. And you notice when I click on this or I hover over it, it has these options down here, and there is conversions right there. That is the campaign type that we want, or the objective that we want. So I have sales conversions set up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and click on continue. Now that is going to create, I'm gonna close it, click this X up here, and that's gonna close this publish draft, just close it. It's going to have this can setup, or this canned campaign setup. It's the template or the bones or whatever. It's the structure of the campaign. Okay, that's already done. Now I have my campaign here. I can click right here where it says new sales campaign, and that'll take me down to the ad set level. And then if I click on new sales ad set, it'll take me down to the ad level. Okay, I go all the way back up to the campaign, X everything out. I'm gonna click here, click on edit, and it'll pop this window back open. Now, how I like to have my campaigns named or set up is I'll just call it soccer ball dog toy. We could call it whatever. Let's just assume that this is a store for pets, and so we know it's a dog toy, or it's a store for dogs, so we know it's a dog toy. I'll just click soccer ball, and then I'm gonna put a little dash here. I'm gonna say conversions, and let's go ahead and leave it at that. That tells me, as I'm setting up more and more campaigns, it tells me what campaign this one is. I could actually do first run or something like that, just to tell me that this is my first campaign. Gotta type right, can't talk and type at the same time. This is my first campaign, right? So if I go set a second one up, but I might want it to be exactly the same except for one or two changes, I just know that this is my first run. So I'm gonna copy that. And let's just scroll down a little bit. For special ad categories, we don't have anything here. This is if you're dealing with any of this stuff they have there. Nothing. Let's just keep on scrolling down. We have sales right here. Let's go ahead and leave that checked. And then let's click here and see if there's anything else we could do. We have catalog sale. We're not using a catalog here. Although I would suggest that, like I told you earlier, use the commerce accounts or the commerce shops, and that is where your catalog is going to be most beneficial. Okay, but we're going to go over that in more advanced stuff, not here in this training. And then we'll click show more options just to go over what's here. There's campaign spend limit. We're not going to do anything with that. We're not going to have any limits. We could do an A/B split test. We're not going to do that. This advantage campaign budget, I click this on about 50% of the time. What this does is it allows you to set your budget. Over here, I'm just going to go ahead and close this. It allows you to set your budget at your campaign level. Normally, your budget is set at your ad set level. So what you would normally do, or what you can do, or what you used to have to do back in the day, is set a budget here in your ad set. And so say you had 10 ad sets, you might run $5 per day on each one of the ad sets, and they would all spend $5 a day. Now they have in here in the campaign budget what you could do is you could set a daily budget of like say $10 or $5 or whatever it is that you want to spend. I suggest starting off with $5 to $10 per day per campaign or per ad set, depending on how you have it broken up. And I could spend an hour going over that. I'm not going to. For the most part, you just want to keep your budget low to spend, your first day or two. You want to be able to spend, $25 to $50 ish. I wouldn't go over $50. I would probably keep it closer to $25. If you're on a low budget, keep it down to $5 or $10. I mean, it's okay to still spend $5 or $10. I'm going to show you why. In one of the later videos, I'm going to go over metrics and how to look at your metrics. And you could spend $5 to $10 a day and get the metrics you need to be able to make some decisions. So that's up to you. But to get results faster, if you could spend $25 a day, you're only going to run this for a day or two, and you're already got to have enough information to turn it off. So you're not going to blow hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. Never do that. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you my rule a little bit later on. But start off with what you want. For the sake, we're going to set $10 here for the sake of demo. And that is at the campaign level, okay? And so what that means is if I go and create multiple ad sets, say I create 10 ad sets, well, each one of those ad sets is only gonna spend $1. And I don't remember if Facebook gives you a limit on how much each ad set can spend. I think they give you a minimum of like $1 or $2 or $3. I forget what it is, the minimum that each ad set can spend. We'll find out here in a minute. Okay, so $10 is our budget. This is our daily budget. You could also do a lifetime budget, but we're just going to do a daily budget. And we're not going to do anything else down here. We just leave the highest volume, and we're not going to run it on a schedule. We'll go over that stuff in a more advanced training. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I have this name copied, and I'm going to go down to my ad set, and I'm just going to name it the same thing, at least for the beginning. I'm going to add an audience name here after this next dash, right? So I put a dash there, and I might add an audience name here in a minute. Now for conversions right here, the conversion location, you're going to want to choose your website. You're going to run this over to your Shopify store most likely, and so you're going to choose website, which is your Shopify website. Let's scroll down. We want to maximize for number of conversions. We want to get as many sales as we want. We have different options here. Well, for this one, it's not going to give us different options, but ultimately we want to get sales, right? That's what we're going for. Now the pixel, you're going to want to choose your pixel that you have set up. I'm just going to have some demo pixel in here. This is HubCart's pixel actually, but you want to make sure that you have the right pixel set up. Selected in here, you might have 2 or 3 pixels, and you're going to choose the one that you already made for your store. For the conversion event, you're going to go down and click on purchase. You want to get purchases. Now it's going to give you this notification here. You can use Meta Pixel to track valuable actions people take on your website and optimize your ads for those actions. You're going to have to set up conversions. And so it says track your conversions. If you use the Facebook integration that I talked about, where you could just log into Facebook Business Manager from your Shopify account, go in your Shopify account and go to the marketing tab or the apps tab, I forget where it's at, get into our group and we'll help you out with that. You're going to set up your pixel just following that process, and all of this is already going to be set up. If you don't have that set up, you're going to have to do it manually, however you set it up, depending on what account you have or what kind of store you have. So if you're not on Shopify, say you're using ThriveCart or you're using Kartra or you're using whatever it is you're selling on, you're going to have to follow those instructions there, and you're going to get your custom tracking code, and you're going to make sure that you have it placed to where it's actually tracking those conversions, right? Otherwise, it's not going to track the conversion. So you're telling Facebook, give me conversions, but it's not going to know. How is it going to know that you're getting sales if you don't have your pixel set up? Okay, so that's what the pixel's for. All right, hopefully you already know that. If not, get into our training. I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over again. Get into our group, and that's where we go over the more advanced stuff. All right, so we have our conversions, we have our pixel, and we have purchase. All right. So now we could choose cost per result goal. Just leave that alone for right now. It's not even going to let me do anything. Now for the attribution setting, I typically will change that after I have a little bit of data. What I'll do is I'll go to 1 day click, and what that's going to do is it's going to tell Facebook, I want to go for people who are going to buy within a day after clicking on my ad. You could do it for a 7-day click if it takes a little bit longer for them to convert. And because this is a new campaign, we're just going to leave it as 7-day click. That way Facebook's capturing data over a longer period of time. And it gives Facebook the data to know who our actual audience is, like some other characteristics about that audience. So that's what we want for now. Then we're going to keep scrolling down and you're going to go to your start date. What I always do is go to the next day. So I'm making this July 1st and it's 9:36 p.m. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check it to July 2nd and I'm going to do at 12 midnight. Okay, 12, would that be a.m.? We want to put a.m. in there. So it's right at midnight on the 2nd. It's going to start here just in a few hours. It's exactly what we want. Unless you want to start it on a Monday. Tomorrow's a Sunday, so you might want to go to Monday. That's totally up to you. But I always start it on the next day at midnight. Okay, I never start my ads midday. That's one of the worst things that you could do to your campaigns because it tells Facebook, hey, I want to spend this amount of money, but look, I only got 5 hours left in a day, or I only got 12 hours left in a day. And it doesn't give Facebook the full opportunity to optimize, okay? So we'll just leave it at that. We're not gonna do any end date for this one. And then we have our audience here. This is where you're gonna create your audience. We'll come back to that. Right now I'm just kind of setting up the can. This is what I do when I set up my campaigns. I go all the way through and set up all of the normal stuff, the stuff that I do, time and time again. I just consistently do these things that I'm showing you right now. I go through and set that up first. That's my can, or that's my template, or whatever I want to call it. Then once I have that, then I go back through and set up my audience. Okay, so I'm just going to keep on scrolling past the audience for now, and let's look at the advantage placements or manual placements. These are your placements. What I do is I always click on manual, and we're only using Facebook here, so we're going to unclick everything other than Facebook. I'm going to just check some of this off, just get it out of the way. And look, as you scroll down, these are the different Facebook options that are already checked. So let me just uncheck and recheck this search, make sure that there's nothing underneath there. I like search. That is when people are searching for things on Facebook. It's going to give them a newsfeed type style of information or post, I guess. And so you'll show up there. We'll leave that one on. In-stream ads for videos and reels. I'm going to leave that on for now. I forget how long this has to be, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on because, well, we're using a video. Stories and reels, yes, I'm going to leave that on. Let's go ahead and click that and see what it is. We have Facebook stories and Facebook reels. We're just going to go ahead and leave those on for now because we did make a story or reel style video, the portrait style video that I showed you earlier. That's going to play right here in the stories and reels. Okay. And then we have feeds. This is the Facebook feed. You have your Instagram feed. You have all these different feeds. I'm just going to go ahead and unselect most of them. I don't want to use the Facebook Business Explorer or the right column. Because it's a video, we'll leave the video feeds. I don't know if this one will work with the video feeds. I forgot the length. Some of them have a minute length. Some of them have 15-second length. But we're going to go ahead and leave it there. Facebook Marketplace. I like Facebook Marketplace because these people are already shopping. They're inside of Facebook Marketplace. They got some money to spend, right? They're ready to buy something, right? So let's advertise to them right there. Normally, if we have Instagram set up, we'll go ahead and select Instagram. But for this sake, we only have Facebook, and so I'm going to select that. Okay. So now we have our placements, and keep on scrolling down. And let's see. Click on this. Is it right here? It's telling me I don't have an Instagram. We'll just ignore that. You have different mobile devices. The only time I ever use these is if I'm selling a product that's related to a device type, or if I'm split testing, or I want to break up a bunch of ad sets with a different, maybe a different device, or maybe a different generation of device, or whatever. But other than that, I just leave them all selected and don't even touch it. Okay. And actually, for the rest of the stuff, we're just going to go ahead and leave it. We're not going to touch anything else down here. We can go over all that. That's more advanced stuff. We're not going to deal with it today. All right, so we're not going to do anything here. We're going to come back to the audience in a minute. Let's go down to the ad level, and I'm just going to look this over really quickly. First, I'm going to paste the name here because, well, we want to keep consistency in our name. We'll add other details as we need to. You want to go down and you want to select your Facebook page. If you have a Instagram page, you want to select that as well. And then for the ad setup, we're going to want to create a new ad. Now, if you already had an ad that you want to use, you could use that one as well, but we're going to create a new ad, and we're going to go down and it asks us what type of ad, and I want to go ahead and click on manual upload. This is where we're going to upload our own content. We're going to upload our image, we're going to upload our copy. You can select this right here, add preview, so that when you do upload it, it will show right here what you're uploading. And then here for format, we're going to select on single image or video. You can check out some of these other ones for right now. This is the one we want to use. I mean, 90% of my campaigns are just single video or image. So we'll leave that. And then multi-advertiser ads, we're just gonna go ahead and click this off. This is a new setting, and it is enabling this may increase your ads exposure to people in shopping mindset by allowing this ad to appear alongside ads from multiple businesses. I want our ads to stand out alone. A lot of times they do things that they think is going to work. They're just testing it out, and we're kind of like the guinea pigs. I don't like to be a guinea pig unless I know it works. So for this sake, you guys could test this all you want, but I would say just leave it alone until we know how to actually use it, which I don't think any marketer has said use this yet. I don't think so. I don't know of anybody. All right, so we're going to leave it off, and we just got manual uploaded, single image and video. And then down here is where we'll create our ads. Now, I'm not going to do that yet. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to our audience, and we'll come back to our ad here in a minute. Let's just scroll down here and just look through this. This is where you're going to create your post, and this is where you're going to put your link. And we want to make sure that we have website selected, and you're going to put the link to your website. All right. We're not going to use instant experience. We're not going to use Facebook events. That stuff is strategic for other purposes. We'll come back to the ad and all that in a minute. Down here on languages, you could add your own translations. That's totally up to you. Tracking, you want to make sure that you have your pixels selected. We already have our pixels selected, so we'll leave that there. And you might want to add URL parameters. That's where you'll do that, is right down here. Now, I do that all the time. In every single campaign, I launch with URL parameters, but I'm not going to do that here just for the sake of demo. You guys could figure out how to use those on your own or get into the more advanced training for that. Okay, so we have our can set up now. We have everything set up that we're going to basically do in every single campaign. What I just showed you right now, I'm basically doing in every single campaign. So every campaign that you launch from here on out and you're going to test a product, do what I just showed you right there. Okay, now for the other details like your targeting and for your ad copy, that's going to vary. So let's move on to the next video for that.